And here I think in G section I'm recording, okay? Yeah. So we'll start with the functions today. So basically guys, whatever the relations we have studied up to now, so this relation and functions, they are having both internally, they are connected. Whatever the relations we have studied till now, these relations are nothing but they will lead us to some functions. Okay, so from here we will achieve this. So let's understand what is this function is all about, and how do we define, when do we say that there is a function, when do we say that there is no function. So all this discussion we will do it now. So basically a function is nothing but it is a relation. So a relation, you know, it is with a set, within a set, no problem. Relation is possible within set, and it is also from set to set. We will take the Cartesian product, and that Cartesian product, whatever the Cartesian product you are taking, either you may take the whole Cartesian product or you may take the subset of it, that will be called as a relation, which we have studied. Now what we do, we're basically taking the relations from the given set A to the set B. The function is nothing but it is a relation. So this is sometimes called as mapping from A to B. What kind of mapping? What kind of relation? It is in any subset A cross B such that there is a condition such that for each A belongs to A. So suppose here you're taking this as A and this as B. So for each A belongs to A, for every element in the given set A, it belongs to the unique ordered pair. Unique ordered pair means it should map to the unique element of the other set. Then we call the given function f as a function. Let's see then. Here if we have the example, the set A is containing A, B, C, D, and the set B is containing R, S, T, U. So you can see that A is mapping to S, or A and S are related to each other. B and U are related to each other. C and R are related to each other. And D and S are related to each other. That means each element of the given set A are mapping to the unique element here. Are you observing? So this observation, we call it as the function. It's a relation in fact. The relation from the set A to B, but with certain condition is what? It has to be valid for every element in the given set A. It is not like you are going to leave some element of A and you will go to map there. I'll just show you with some examples. So then this function, whatever you are observing here from set A to B, it is one of the obvious way. Here you can see, if I want to know the image f of A, where it is mapping, this A is mapping to S. F of B, if you see f of B, that is equal to U. Similarly, take f of C. F of C. So f of C will be again R. This f of B is U. Then f of D, if I take it as again yes. So what I am taking for each element here, there is a image. So the image of f, whatever set you are seeking, the image of f is the set of image values. The image of f means whatever the value, whatever the elements of A are going and getting the images, that we will take it as one set, and that we will call it as image value of f. Okay. So here you can see this T does not belongs to the image value because T is not mapping to any of the element. That is fine for the function. But each element here has to map. I'll show you the different ways where the function, you can say this is a function, this is not a function. You should decide it. So you can see the image of f is a set of image, whatever the set of images which occur here, or S and U. Note that this T is not belongs to the image of f because T is not the image of any of the element of f. So I'm giving every explanation here so that when you will read, it will be clear. Am I clear with this much definition, guys? Both G and H section. G section, is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
H section people?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. then whatever the ordered pair, the graph of F is following set of ordered pair. So I shown you the ordered pair, that is A is related to S, B is related to U, C is related to R, and D is related to S. This is the relation. So this is the relation, particular relation we have considered, which is our function. So we basically started with function is nothing but it is a relation. Okay, so relation as such that every element of one set has to map to the other element. Not necessary each and every of other element, but every element of first set has to match to the other set. That is what is the condition. Okay, so now let's see. We'll see some following relations and let's see whether they are functions or not. So here the set A is given and there is a relation from set A to set A. So let me draw it in terms of the figure, and so that it will be more clear. So here I have 1, 3, here also I have 1, 2, 3. So it is a function from A to A, or you can see the relation from A to A. So they are saying that 1 is related to 3, fine, I will have this. 2 is related to 3, okay, so this is there. And 3 is related to 1, so 3 is related to 1. Okay, so just check. So there is a relation from A to A. Okay, so since you can see each and every element of this is mapping to what? Unique element of the given set. Is it there or not? So you have the ordered pair here in this equation. Whatever the function they have given here, in this we can see that 1 is mapping to 3, 2 is mapping to 3, and 3 is mapping to 1. So every element here is mapping to the unique element. So therefore, this is a function here. Okay, so what about the G1? If I draw for G, let's see. So it is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Here 1 is going to 2, okay, and 3 is going to 1. What about 2? There is no mapping for this 2. But as per the definition of function, each and every element of A should map. So therefore 2 is not mapping to any element. Is it a function, guys? Yeah. So you should give the reason. Sometimes in the examination they may ask you, give the valid reason. So that time you should say, I have given you the explanation. G is not a function from A into A. Since 2 belongs to A, is not the first coordinate of any pair in G. You can see any pair. There is no pair for this 2. There is no pair for this 2. So hence it is not a function. Or you can say that, so G does not assign any image to this 2. Therefore it is not a function. So what about the H function, guys? What about the H function? Let me see. Let me draw that H also. Let me see what happens. What about the H function? Just check. This is again 1, 2, 3. This is again 1, 2, 3. So 1 is going to 3, fine. 2 is going to 1 is fine. 1 is going to 2 and 3 is going to 1. So here you can observe, we say that it has to go to unique image, but 1 is going to how many images? 1 is also going to 3, 1 is also going to what? 2. So this is not possible in the function. So function means what? Every individual element must have the unique image. Here, of course, every element has an image, but 1 does not have a unique image. It has 2 different images. Hence, it is not a function. Are you following, guys? These are the way you should find out whether the given relation is function or not. Not every relation is a function, but every function is a relation. So please remember, every function leads to relation, but every relation does not leads to the function. Okay, so to have a function, there should be some condition that for each and every element in the given set, we can call it as domain, we should have a unique image there in the codomain. Then only we can say that it is a function. So if this is there, it is not a function. Are you following, guys? Are you following?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now let's see some varieties of functions. So there is something called composite function, composition of a function, or you can say composite function. So here we have two different functions. Say f is a function from a to b and g is the function from b to c. There are two functions. That is where the codomain of f, and I think domain and codomain I will tell you. So suppose you are having f is a function from a to b. If this is your function, say, so here domain will be from where the given function is started. That will be your domain of a function. Okay, whatever the set you have started with, that is your domain. Codomain means where you are reaching to your function, where you are mapping to your function, from which set to which set you are going. That is your codomain. Okay, then range is what are the images of A. Only collection of the images of A are your range. So for example, if you see here in the above example, the first example itself, here I show you, see, ABCD is your domain, RSTU is your codomain. Out of that, it is reaching to only R, S and U. Thus, this set R, S and U is your range. This R, S and U is your range. Okay, so this is the basic difference between domain, range and the codomain. Okay, just please remember the concept. So here we'll come back to the composition function. So here we have the function f is from a to b and g is function from b to c. So that is where the codomain means, I know I told you this, in this function b is the codomain and in this function c is the codomain. So the codomain of the function f is nothing but the domain of g. You can see the codomain of the given function f is the domain of b. Are you following? This is your domain here, this is your codomain here. Here it is domain and here this is codomain. So the codomain of the given function f is the domain of the given function g. Following, guys? If that is the case, then we can define a new function from a to c. Here there is a function from a to b and there is a function from b to c. So this function, domain is a, codomain is b. In this function, domain is b and codomain is c. If that is there, we can have a function from a to c. That will be our composition function. It is written as g dot f and it is defined as g dot f of a is equal to g of f of a. G of f of a. So we can define this way. So this is a composition of f and g function. We'll read it as composition of f and g, but we will write it as g dot f. Please remember. Okay? Am I clear with the composition function? Quickly just say yes from G section and H section.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So 1 to 1. Now let's go to the next variety of a function. What is 1 to 1 function? Okay. It is also called as 1-1 function or injective function. Okay. So these are the names. A function f from a to b, it is said to be 1 to 1 or injective or 1-1. It's also written as 1-1. If different elements in the domain A have distinct images, so just try to note it. So suppose here I have the set A, I have the set B. So here distinct element must have distinct images like this. It is suppose in this way, just with the diagram it will be more clear. So suppose I have here 3 different images, here I have 3 different images. So suppose one is going to this, 2 is also going to this and this is going to here. This is not 1-1 because 1 is also having the image 2 and 2 is also having the image this. So here there is no unique image, different image, but here we have different image. This is having this image, this element has this image, this element has this image. So this function we call it as 1-1 function. Whereas this is not our 1-1 function, but it is a function. Following, guys?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So what is the basic idea here is, in 1-1, the different element of A should have a different image. Another way of saying the same thing is, it is 1-1 if f of A is equal to f of A dash, then A is equal to A dash. So the image of A and image of A dash. So here this is your f of A I'm talking about, and f of say suppose f is going to this image and this element is going to this image and this element is going to this image, means different element is having different image. If at all it has different image, they are one another same, that must be there. That means unique element has a unique different image. It is not like this. If suppose this is going to here and this also is going to here, it may be the function, but it is not a 1-1 function. Clear? Without 1-1, I will show you the examples once I start solving the example. Clear, guys? Similarly, you can just have a very good example. F of x is equal to say x. Say x is equal to 1, the image is 1. X is minus 1, image is minus 1. X is 2, image is minus 2. So what you are getting? You are getting every element has a different image here. So no two elements are having the same image. Therefore, it is a 1-1 function. Okay? Don't sleep in the morning class, guys. At least be active and say whether you are getting or if you are having confusion. Just let me know. Okay? Am I clear with the 1-1 function G section?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
H section? Okay. So let's go to onto function then. Again, here this is the function first. From where to where? From A to B. It is said to be onto or bijective if each element of B, now here I am focusing on B, each element of B is the image of some of element of A. So here what is the necessary condition is, suppose you are having here the relation, say this is, because your function is a relation. So here sometimes I used to have this way, right? One is going to this element and this element is going to this element and this element is going to this element. Here one is remaining. If this is happening, then it is not onto. According to the definition of onto function, every element of your codomain, must have the image here. Like this. Every element must have the image. So though suppose you are having here any element, say 4 elements I have, this is going to here, this is going to here, and this also may be going this, and this also may be going to this. But I should see that every element of this set B should have at least, each and every element must have image there, at least to some elements, but it should be completed. The codomain must be full. Where in other words, if your codomain is equal to range, then that function is the onto function, because this is your codomain and this itself is your range. So therefore, then only we can call it as the onto function. Clear? Following, guys? Yeah. In other words, f is a function from A to B is onto if the image of f is the entire codomain. That's what entire codomain means. If codomain is equal to range, that's what they're trying to say. Okay? If f of A is equal to B, in such case we say that f is a function from A onto B, or f maps A onto B. We say that f maps A onto B, or f is a function from A onto B. Onto means it's an onto function. That's the meaning. Okay. So now next thing is invertible. What is invertible? A function f is from A to B is invertible. It's very important to note. If its inverse relation, f inverse is the function from B to A. So there should be an inverse relation. I'm talking about relation now. If there exists an inverse relation, this relation is from A to B. If there is an inverse relation from B to A, then we say that the given function f from A to B is invertible. We say that the given function f is from A to B is invertible when f inverse is the function from B to A. Okay, so they are connected again. If you have just a relation, we can talk about the function, we can talk about 1-1 onto. When you have the inverse function, we can talk about the inverse relation. So when we talk about the inverse relation, we can talk about the inverse function also. So we also call it as, in short, we can call it as invertible. The function is invertible. If you have the function f is from A to B, then f inverse will be from B to A. So A to B means the relation is from A to B. F inverse is nothing but it is the inverse relation, it is from B to A. Okay, in general, the inverse relation f inverse may not be a function. Please remember, not always the inverse relation is a function, because you will get that thing here when you reverse it. I will show you this with example. When you reverse it, suppose here you are having this function. So here you might be having, this is from say A to B. There are 4 elements here. Here there are 3 elements. So here if suppose I am going to this way, okay, I am going to this way. When I reverse it, if you observe, this element is going to one element is going to 2 different images. So that time, when you reverse it, that time it will not become a function. That's why I've given you, in general, the inverse relation, f inverse may not be a function. Okay, so not always, but sometimes it may not be a function. That's why we have said it as in general. Are you following this note, guys?
Yes, ma'am.
And out of that, if it is a function, then only we call it as invertible. Okay, so invertible means not every function will become invertible. So that's the reason, if f is a function from A to B, if this is a function, and whatever the inverse relation when I take, B to A, if it is also becoming function, then only I call it as f is invertible. And you know, in general, it is not always a function. So therefore, only few functions will be your invertible function. Clear, guys? Okay. So now let's see. There is one theorem. Then what is the condition for the function to be invertible? Please remember, this is a generalized. It's very difficult, right? For every function, we can't check whether it is invertible or not. That's the reason we have made one theorem. There is a universal theorem. A function A to B, it is always invertible, or the function is invertible if and only if it is both 1, 1 and onto. So if the given function is both 1, 1 as well as onto, if that is happening, then that particular function will be always invertible. Or if it is invertible, then it is always 1, 1 and onto. If it is 1, 1 and onto, it is invertible. You should have this way. If it is invertible, then it is 1, 1 and onto. Or if it is 1, 1 and onto, then it is invertible. Please remember, both the way it is true, because it is if and only if. So now can you give me many examples you can give me? So if I say the given any function is both 1, 1 and onto, then it is always invertible. Or you quote one example of invertible, I'll give you an example 1, 1 and onto. Are you following? Yes? Are you following, guys? Okay. Yeah. So please understand the concept, okay? Now let's see. There is a function they have given. Consider f1. This is a f1 from A to B, f2 from B to C, f3 from C to D, and there is f4 from D to E. So I'm just showing you all with the map, okay? Defined by the diagram. So now f1 is 1 to 1. Since you can see every element here, it is going to, whatever they have given, I'm writing, okay? A is going to 4, B is going to 1, and C is going to 2. So every element is having a different images, whether it is 1, 1, 1 or not.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So since no element of B is the image more than one element of A, that's the reason. Similarly, come to f2. This is your f2, okay? This is your f2 here from B to C. So see, 1 is going to R, 2 is going to T, and 3 is going to U, and 4 is going to S. Is it 1, 1, guys?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, because every element is going to unique image. Now, come to C to D. This is your f3. R is going to U, S is going to W, T is going to W, and U is going to V. Is it 1 1, guys? Why? Because two images alla, you have the elements here. Elements here are going to the same elements. You can see two different elements are having the same image, not having a different image, correct? That's the reason F3 is not 1 1. However, F4, is it 1 1? Yeah. So therefore, since it is going to this, both the elements are having the same image. Hence, this your F4 is also not 1 1 function. Since you can see F3 of R is F3 of U and F4 of V is F4 of W. So that's the reason this is not the 1 1 function. Okay. Now, as far as being onto is concerned, I'm giving you a whole explanation. Okay. So what is happening? F2 and F3. Let's check which are onto functions. Here if you see, F1 if you see, there is one element 3 which is not mapped to any element. Is it onto function, guys? This
No, ma'am.
this is not onto. What about F2 here?
It is onto, ma'am.
Because each element in C is mapped to one or the other element here. Therefore, F2 is onto. What about F3, guys? V and W, are they mapped or not? So therefore,
I guess it's not a relation because W has two images.
no. I'm asking onto. I'm not asking about inverse. Don't confuse. Don't confuse. I'm asking about onto function. It's a function. R to V, S to W, T to W, V to U to W. U to V. So is it not a function? F3 is a function and every element of F3 is having some or the other image here. Correct? That is the condition for onto. So whether F3 is onto or not? Is there any
It is
confusion?
onto, ma'am.
It's onto function. Okay. So next come to F4. Is every element of this E, is it having an image here?
Why X and Y don't have an image, ma'am?
Yes. Hence it is not what? Onto function. Are you getting? Anybody has a confusion? Tell me. Anybody has a confusion here to understand 1 1 and onto? It's clear, right? I have given you the explanation here. Read it. Okay. So every element, whether it is onto or not, see F1 is not onto. Since 3 belongs to B is not the image under F1 for any element of A. So since this 3 is having no image, hence it is not onto. Here every element is having the image under this. So hence it is onto. Here also it is having every element as having the image. Hence F3 is onto. Whereas F4 in X and Y are having no image. Hence it is not onto. Okay. So this is the explanation which I have mentioned here. Okay. What about the inverse? Let's see. So however, what we got to know now we should concentrate on invertible means both it has to be 1 1 and onto. Now tell me which function is both 1 1 and onto here out of this. F1 if you see, it is 1 1. Is it onto, guys? Please think. It is 1 1, correct? Are you following? It is not onto. When it is not onto, is it invertible as per the invertible theorem?
No,
So
ma'am.
yes, F1 is not invertible. Now let's come to F2. So it is 1 1. 1 is going to R, 2 is going to T, 3 is going to U, 4 is going to S. It is having different images. It is 1 1. And it is onto also because every element of C is mapped here. So both 1 1 and onto means what F2 must be? Invertible. Very good. What about F3, guys? Is it 1 1 here? It is not 1 1, but it is onto, correct? not 1 1. This one is not 1 1, but it is an onto function. Then F3, is it invertible? F3, no. What about F4? It is not neither 1 1 nor onto. Correct? So I'm giving you all the variety of example where it may be 1 1 but not onto. This is not onto F1. Here it is both 1 1 and onto F2. It is 1 1 but not onto. Sorry, this is onto but not 1 1 F3. Neither 1 1 nor onto. All the 4 examples you can cover in this particular diagram. Go through this diagram again at home, draw it properly and just identify which is 1 1 but not onto, which is onto but not 1 1, which is both 1 1 and onto. Don't unmute yourself without unnecessary, reason. Okay? Adi. Okay. So now this is what is the theory behind it. So what you will do is you will draw this figure again, or you will draw it some functions of yourself and create some functions which are 1 1 but not onto but not 1 1, both 1 1 and onto. Okay, neither 1 1 nor onto. So all the 4 categories of functions try to draw and try to analyze and try to give the explanation about it. Okay, so tomorrow I may ask anyone to tell me. Okay, am I clear with this concept, guys?
Yes, ma'am.
H section. So please go through it. Okay, now you may feel that you are understanding, so it will not come until and unless you will just try yourself. Okay, so read every explanation I'm giving, everything I'm writing, right? I mean, trying to write everything so that when you read you should understand. Okay, so I think this is one example, and here there are some functions. You try to draw the diagram for this. Okay, it's a simple one. Just substitute the values of real numbers and just let me know what are the 1 1, what are the onto geometrically. I will tell you how we can identify the functions after drawing the diagram 1 1 and onto. That basis we will discuss in tomorrow's class. Just go through this stuff. Tomorrow we'll discuss it further. Okay, I think it's a time. Now let me take your attendance. Don't go suddenly. Just be there.